Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. In sitting meditation, when I practice the recitation of Buddha Buddha or breathing meditation, I experiment some tension on my face, and it discomfortable. What should I do to solve this problem?
Oh, you just have to ignore it. It's part of the the problem that arises when you meditate. Yeah.
Okay.
And the only way to overcome is just to ignore it. It doesn't hurt you or anything like that. Just concentrate on your breathing, concentrate on your mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Then eventually they will disappear. Is no harm in them. Yeah. Or if you think you cannot watch your breath or recite Bhutto, if you can do some chanting, just do some chanting first. By chant the verses like you use mantra, because when you chant, you have more, you can concentrate more. But if you don't know how to chant, then you just have to either if you can recite the 32 parts of the body. Have you studied the 32 parts of the body?
Not yet.
Hair of the head, hair of the body, nail, teeth, skin, flesh, and so forth. You can recite the name of these 32 parts to calm your mind first. Because when your mind is active, you find you have to struggle with your concentration. And then it can create this discomfort in your body. Yeah. So in order to overcome this, you might have to do some reciting something longer than just one word, yeah, like the 32 parts of the body.
Okay.
Or if you find that you cannot sit, maybe you should get up and walk first, because your mindfulness is not strong enough and your mind is still very active. Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to make the mind become less active by forcing it to walk with your body, force it to concentrate with your walking. Yeah. When you walk, you can recite a mantra, or you can watch your feet, left, right, left, right. Yeah. Just keep watching. When you're stepping with your right foot, you say right. When you're stepping with your left foot, just say left. Try to lessen your thoughts. Yeah. Then your mind will become calmer. Then you can go back and sit and meditate. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Is that all the question you have today?
My second question was how can I develop mindfulness? But I think you answer.
Yes. You have to practice mindfulness all the time, not just when you meditate. You have to practice mindfulness from the time you get up. As soon as you get up, you should start reciting the mantra or concentrate on what you do. Don't let your mind go think about France, about the virus, about anything.
Oh.
Yeah. Just concentrate your mind to be in the present, to be empty, not to let it think. Yeah. If you can do this from the time you start to get up, then you will have mindfulness to meditate later on.
And this is also the body, the eye, what I see, what I hear, only the body.
Yes, what about it? What you see?
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness.
Yeah.
Yes, you can focus on what you do with your body.
Okay.
If you're walking, just focus on walking. If you're brushing your teeth, just focus on brushing your teeth. Don't let your mind go think about other things. Then you will have strong mindfulness.
Okay.
So when you meditate, you can become calm very quickly and don't feel any discomfort.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
คำถามจากชาวต่างชาติครับ Jess first question how to overcome feeling bad for not helping other or not offering help to someone who is suffering
Well, it depends on whether you could help them or not. If you could help and you didn't want to do it, then that's your fault. Yeah. Then you should try to go back and help if you can, if you could, if it doesn't hurt you. But sometimes by helping someone you don't know, it might hurt you. Then you have to not. Then you cannot do it. Like a stranger maybe asking you for a ride when you drive alone. You don't know what the stranger is. You don't know what he carries with him. He might carry a gun or something. And when you get him into the car, he might use the gun to force you out and take the car from you. In that case, then you just have to say, well, I cannot help, So it depends on the situation. If you cannot help, then you just have to accept the reality that it's just the way it is. Sometimes you don't know whether you're dealing with a good person or with a bad person. So you have to know what you can do and what you cannot do. Once you know that, then when you don't do, you don't feel bad. You won't feel bad.
The second question. Despite understanding that everything happened with a cause, no one can interfere others' karma, will attaining samadhi help?
Attaining samadhi will make your mind calm and let go. Then whatever happens to other people, you won't feel bad. You will accept the truth, the reality, that sometimes you can help and sometimes you cannot help.
คำถามจากชาวต่างชาติครับ from No Life on Earth I practice Asubha but I don't feel much disgust should I practice something else
Well, you should go look at the real thing. If you doesn't feel anything, go look at the corpses, the people who die a few days, not just flesh corpse. Look at old corpse, bloated corpse, corpse that have been eaten by dogs and animals. There are 10 stages of corpses. I don't know if you can find them now because usually they are quite well preserved when people die. They are now put in the refrigerated box. So you might have to go look at the medical school when they have autopsy of the body. So you can see when they cut up the body and see the various organs inside the body. Then this will give you some disgust, I'm quite sure. Because some people couldn't even look at the picture. They become faint when they look at the body being cut up. So you need to look at something real, not just something you imagine. Maybe look at photographs if you cannot go look at the real thing. But look photograph of corpses.
ท่านอาจารย์ just asking about for a person who has a little bit of this like metta, a person some metta barami as well as quite generous, and later on move up the ladder to 5 precepts and 8 precepts and learning the Dhamma along the way. After maybe a few years of practice, and but not really able to achieve the level that the apana samadhi and also the full thing. If the person will have a next and I also have quite a number of friends like monks friends and all that. If the person were to get a rebirth in the next life, will the person be able to continue that journey, or is it going to be start all over again and probably beat all the obstacles and try to start all over again?
Well, it depends on how much he has developed. Yeah. If what he has done is still not fully, not firmly embedded in his mind, it can disappear gradually due to the duration of time, the passage of time. It will make you forget what you used to do. So it depends on whether you can do it until it become your habit. If it's become a habit, then it's hard to break. But if it's not a habit, then it's easy to forget. And so this is the difference. Whatever you do, try to do it to the point where it becomes a habit. It's something that you must do, or you will do whenever you have the opportunity to do. Then you will not forget this thing. But if you just do it casually, do it maybe because there's a condition that makes you do it, like you happen to be around people who makes donations, so you have to make donation to save your face more than for the sake of making yourself happy, then this thing will not stick with you. But if you make donation because every time you make donation you feel good, and every time you feel you want to feel good, then you just give donation. Then if this is the way, then it will usually go with you. It has to come to from your heart and for the benefit of your heart. You know that doing charity makes you feel good. So whenever you want to feel good, you do charity. So this can become a habit. And then you can, no matter where you are, it doesn't matter whether people around you are charitable or not, but you will be charitable because you feel happy when you give.
And what about the wisdom of Dhamma? Let's say you also listen to a lot of Dhamma talk and be able to in your mind to really understand quite deeply in terms of like 5 aggregates.
This can be forgotten. This can be forgotten. Okay. It's like the knowledge you learn in college, in your university. If you don't apply it, you forget. Okay. But if you keep applying, you won't forget. But the problem is once you die, you might not have the opportunity to apply. So I can lose because it's still memory, it's still not real in your mind. But if the wisdom is real in your mind, you know that if you greed, you feel bad. If you can stop your greed, you feel better. Then this will stick with your mind.
Okay. I see. Just like a saying that I heard before, like theory without practical is nothing.
Yeah.
It's something like that. Yeah.
Like 10 ปากว่าไม่เท่าหนึ่งตาเห็น 10 mouthful is not worth one eye full. One eye.
Understand. Okay.
So you have to do it until it becomes embedded by virtue of your doing, not by virtue of memorizing.
Okay. I see. Okay. Right. Thank you.
จากคุณมิเชล ท่านอาจารย์ can we consider we have some samadhi eventually from the past lives when we are aware of the breath all along, just putting the attention on it without to need to know the sensation of it?
If you can concentrate your mind on one particular object for a long time, it means you have strong mindfulness that will enable you to have samadhi. Or if your mind is in a state of neutral all the time, it means you have samadhi. Neutral in the sense that you don't get excited when you see something or hear something. You don't get disturbed when you see or hear something. You remain calm and stable. Then it means you have samadhi. Then you can use this samadhi to apply the wisdom of the Buddha to eliminate your cravings, will eliminate your desire. If you can see the object of your cravings or desire is impermanent, that will produce unsatisfactoriness or sadness if you go after them, because they are not under your control. Sometimes you can have them, sometimes you cannot have them. Sometimes you have them and then later on you can lose them. Because this is the nature of everything. They are natural processes, not under anybody's control. Then you can become enlightened by using, if you can see the three characteristics in all the things that you are involved with, whether they are things you see or things you hear, or your body that you use to see or hear. They are all have the three characteristics within them. To rely on them will only make you sad, because you cannot rely on them for all the time. Then you will know what to do. You will let go of them. You will not rely on them. Once you don't rely on them, you will have no cravings for them. When you have no craving, then you will have no suffering, no dukkha.
Question from Naomi Jonas from Canada. I experienced about 45 minutes where my mind are focused on the breath continuously, and the mind became really calm and happy. The mind had a few thoughts, but usually just telling myself to stay with the breath. When the mind started to wander again, even a bit of pain was very agitating to me, and I became very restless. I focused myself to stay seated for 2 hours period that I had planned, but I changed my sitting posture. I tried first ignoring the pain and then looking at the pain to understand the anicca and anatta. It is typical to experience a lot of restlessness after a period of calm, and were my efforts in the right direction, even though my mindfulness and determination were strong enough yet to sit through the pain? What should I do differently next time? Thank you.
When the pain arises while you meditate, there are two options you can do. The first option is using mindfulness. You should concentrate your mind on the object of your mindfulness, such as your breath or a mantra. Sometimes watching your breath might not be able to resist, to ignore the pain. Then maybe using a mantra can be better under that situation. Just keep reciting the mantra to pull your mind, your thoughts away from the pain. Because when your mind thinks of the pain, it will start having cravings, desire for the pain to disappear. When craving or this desire arises, it will cause agitation and restlessness in the mind, which will make you unable to continue on sitting with the pain. But if you can concentrate your mind on one object of mindfulness, either on your breathing or on your mantra, if you stick to it, then eventually the mind will forget about the pain, and the pain will not disturb the mind, because the mind has more or less stopped the craving or the desire to get rid of the pain. So this is the first option, the easier option. The second option should come after you have used the first option, because you need a stronger mind to investigate the nature of pain. You have to look at the pain that it comes from the body, such as the bone. You can ask yourself whether the bone knows it is painful or not. The bone doesn't know it is painful or not painful. When the body has no breath and you cremate the body, the bone still remains the bone. It is not disturbed by the dissolution of the bone, the burning of the bone. So who is disturbed? It's the mind, the one who knows that is disturbed. And what makes the mind disturbed is desire to be away or from pain or to get rid of the pain. But after studying the nature of the pain, you have to accept that you cannot force it to go away. because the pain is like a natural phenomenon like the rain and the sun, which you cannot force them to go away. If it rains, you just have to live with it. If the sun shines, you have to live with it. So it's the same way with pain. You have to live with it. If your mind can accept this truth, then the mind will stop resisting the pain. And then there will be no craving for the pain to disappear. When there are no craving, then there will be no restlessness or agitation. Then the mind will become peaceful and will be able to live with the pain. This is the option of wisdom, using the truth, the nature of the pain, and the nature of the mind, the nature of suffering that is being created by the craving of the mind due to the mind's aversion for pain. So you have to change the mind attitude not to have any aversion for anything. Try to embrace everything that appears, that happens at that time. Because they cannot hurt or destroy your mind. Whether it's pain or whether an explosion to your body, it only affects the body. It doesn't affect the mind. If you understand this, if you can teach the mind this and the mind understand, then the mind will stop resisting the truth. It will then accept the truth by remaining calm and knowing.
หลวงพ่อครับ I wanted to ask, like when you do the meditation,
Yes, go ahead.
you feel hurt, you feel leg is numb and hurt, and your back is getting hurt. You need to fight through it, concentrate on your breath, or you should take a rest and do it again.
What do you mean by being hurt?
Like when you sit for a long time, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then you feel your leg is like.
Well, there are two ways you can do it. One way is to increase your mindfulness. Concentrate on your mindfulness, on your meditation object. If you use breathing, just keep watching your breathing and ignore the pain.
Ignore the pain.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you concentrate and you forget about the pain, then the pain will not bother you.
Okay.
The second way is if you cannot do it, then you just have to get up and maybe do walking meditation instead.
Okay, thank you. So I know that what is the 32 part of the body?
The 32 parts: hair of the head, hair of the body, nail, teeth, skin, flesh, sinew, bones, heart, lungs. You can look it up in Google. Just search for 32 parts of the body.
Okay. Thank you.
In English.
Okay, so in next level of meditation, you need to feel every part of your body, right?
You have to study, not feel.
Study.
Study, know them for what they are. What hair looks like, what skin looks like, what the skeleton looks like, and so forth.
When you do the meditation, you need to.
You can use this as a way of, instead of using your breath, you can use these 32 parts to calm your mind.
Oh.
Because when you concentrate on the 32 parts, you cannot think about other things.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
จากคุณอินดาวาตีค่ะ
พูดช้าๆหน่อย อ่านเป็นช้าๆหน่อย
When I recall my son who just passed away a week ago, there was a deep sadness when I touched his clothes. And to stop the sadness going deeper, I decided to calm myself by meditating. As usual, I recited a mantra. And not too long, I could be calm. But at that time, I felt drowsy, although my mind was still reciting the mantra. I kept focusing more on reciting the mantra until unknowingly I was in a very calm and light state, like floating. I couldn't hear any sound from my surrounding, although when I was started, there was a singing from my maid. But at that time, it felt like I was in a state which was so calm. In one moment, I was carried away and thought whether this was a process to death, like which was experienced by my son, not as painful as I imagined after separated from the body. Not long after that, I started to be panicked because I couldn't feel my breath, mouth, and body. Then I started to struggle opening my eyes, but I couldn't, so I forced until I could finally be open. However, the whole body couldn't be felt, and I needed about 5 minutes until I could feel my breath and hands, but I couldn't move them yet. I was panicked after all that incident. I became afraid to meditate until now. Can Thanachan give me any advice, please?
Well, you have to understand the process of meditation is to separate the mind from the body. Once the mind is separated from the body, then it doesn't feel or receive any information from the body. The body just seems like to be another individual. But when you want to come out of your meditation, your mind cannot suddenly reunite with the body. It takes time. So all you need to do is to recite a mantra or tell your mind to keep calm, just wait. And then eventually the feelings of the body, the perception of the body will gradually return to the mind. There is nothing bad about it. This is just the process of the mind and the body separating. But since you didn't understand, you panic. And what caused you suffering is not the separation of mind and body, but your panic, because you lack the right information to tell you what's going to happen when you meditate. If you have the information, you know ahead of time, then you would not panic. Then you would just wait for the mind and body to reunite. So there's no need to fear, to be afraid of meditation. Yeah. Because meditation will help calm your mind, make your mind peaceful and happy. And you will come to understand more about your mind and how to make yourself happy.
คำถามชาวต่างชาติครับ from Lindawati. Thank you for your answer yesterday. I would like to ask my son just passed away about a week ago, whether or not he has been reborn.
Well, I cannot answer this question directly. I can just only give you a theoretical answer. Once the mind leaves the body, it is subjected to the good and bad karma that it performed during the lifetime. Whether it's the good or the bad karma, it depends on which one are stronger. If the good karma is stronger, then the good karma will take effect and will lead the spirit to a heavenly realm. If the bad karma is stronger than the good karma, then the bad karma will lead the spirit to a hellish realm. Until the good or bad karma expire its power, then the spirit then will be released to go and seek a new birth, a new body. And the time duration is anybody's guess. It depends on how much good or bad karma one performed during one's lifetime.
We have another question from Naomi, Canada. The first question, when the breathing becomes very subtle or stops for several seconds, you gave advice to observe the emptiness. What does this mean?
Just be aware. Don't think. Just keep watching. Just like you are watching the breath. Now there's no breath to watch. You just keep watching the emptiness, or watch your thought. Should you start to think, then you should stop your thinking, because your thinking will then make the mind not calm, and it will then withdraw from the state of calm. But if you can maintain or control your thought, prevent your thought from thinking, then you can remain calm and peaceful and happy.
Second question. since I am still aware of the body, should I focus my awareness on the point where I was observing the breath, even though I no longer feel the breath? Where should I focus my attention at that time?
Just any point that you can fix your mind to. You can fix your mind on emptiness. Just use emptiness as your meditation object. If there's no breath for you to watch emptiness. Okay, you got a question?
So I've heard you and other Ajahns talk about the practice chanting Buddho, 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 and like calming the mind with the breath. And I was just curious, do you see insight as just arising automatically from a calm mind, or is it necessary to specifically contemplate things like anicca, anatta, dukkha?
You still have to contemplate, but you will see it easier. Like when you calm your mind, it's like cleaning your eyeglasses. You know what's like when your eyeglasses is blur? You won't be able to see things clearly, right? Same way with your mind, when it's not calm, it cannot see things clearly. But once you calm your mind, then the mind becomes clear. Then when you contemplate on anicca, dukkha, anatta, you'll see it.
Are any one of those those three subjects more effective than any others, or maybe one is more inclined for like a beginner, or you just use?
There are three sides of the same thing. So it's up to you which side you want to look at. You'll see the other two sides. Okay. If you like looking at impermanent, then it will lead you to dukkha and anatta. If you look at dukkha, you'll see anicca and anatta.
Okay.
So they are just like a coin which has three sides, two sides and the rim of the coin.
So if a person is sort of inclined towards seeing one, then just go with that, and the other two will become obvious?
The other will come obvious because they are all interconnected.
Okay. I was also curious, how useful are other practices such as like fasting or like yoga or something?
These are enhancer. When you fast, it forces you to meditate in order to cope with your hunger. So you get to force yourself to meditate. And when you're not eating much, your meditation can be more successful than when you're eating. Because when you're eating, you tend to be lazy and drowsy, sleepy. When you're not eating, you're a lot more alert. You are more mindful. So you need, some people use fasting to force them to meditate. Or some other people use some other method. If they don't like fasting, sometimes they have to need a place to force them to practice, like staying in a wild place where there are dangers around you. And you feel that you need to be mindful to calm your mind, to stop your mind from thinking about all the dangerous thing around you. So you need this thing they call enhancer.
And what about something like yoga?
Yoga is just for your body. You need to look after your body as well as your mind. You need some exercise to stretch your legs, stretch your back, to keep your body functioning properly.
Okay. And in using other practices like as enhancers, what's the best thing to keep in mind for knowing if you're doing it in like a skillful way or if it's maybe being a distraction?
You mean what you do? And
yeah, like if you're fasting, like what might be a good like way of an indicator for if you're using it in a very skillful way or if it's becoming a distraction, or same thing with like yoga, if you're getting a little bit too caught up in maybe doing like hours of practice every day is getting too
you have to know
sidetracked.
You have to know the purpose of what you do. When you fast, the purpose is not to be capable in fasting. Fasting itself is not the goal we want, but we use fasting as an enhancer, an enforcer, to force you to meditate. So if you fast and you don't meditate, then it's useless. So when you fast, then when you feel the hunger. See the hunger, there are two types of hunger. We normally have, one is the body hunger, the other is the mind hunger. And the body hunger, since we're fasting, we cannot get rid of. We can only get rid of the mind hunger, the hunger of the mind. And to do this, you have to calm the mind. Once the mind becomes calm through your meditation, then the hunger of the mind disappears, and you feel full in your mind. So, and then the hunger of the body would not bother you, because the hunger of the body is a lot less than the hunger of the mind. Let's say 90 to 10%, 90% mental hunger and 10% physical hunger. Once you calm your mind, makes your mind feel full, then the 10% hunger of the mind will not bother you.
Okay. And last question. In these Thai traditions and this, do you have any sense of how often people who ordain in these various Thai traditions or under you or some of the other masters, how often they're achieving like the goals that are, that the Buddha puts down for practice, that the reasons for people like going forth and doing this?
You mean how much people have achieved and how many hasn't achieved?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, from experience, from the various teachers, you'll find that maybe, I don't know the percentage, but not very high. But there are some who achieved enlightenment, because there were people who became enlightened, and after they died, the bones turned into relics. So that proved that they have achieved enlightenment. And it has been from generation down to each generation. There will be a few monks who will achieve, maybe not as much. The majority is compared like to a bull. A bull has two horns, right? And has plenty of hair. Those who achieve are like the horn of the bull, and those who didn't achieve like the horn, the hair of the horn of the bull. So not many, but there are some. To be able to extend the life of Buddhism, because you need people who became enlightened to be the real teacher, to pass on the teaching. So we're not really worried about the percentage of who or what. What we are more worried about is us.
Yeah.
So just be more worried about whether you can achieve or not, you can become enlightened or not better, than to worry about the percentage of people, other people practicing.
Yeah, I agree. But it's inspirational to see other people around.
Well, at least there are people who has achieved, although maybe not as many. It's not like going to universities where the rate of graduation is very
Everybody
high.
gets a degree.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
คำถามจากชาวต่างชาติฮะคุณโรเบิร์ต the first question when sitting in meditation how fast should we recite the word Buddha?
It's up to you, whatever is comfortable for you. It depends. Sometimes you want to do it fast because your mind is restless. When your mind is not restless, you can do it slower. It's like driving a car. Depend on the traffic. If you have many traffic, you can go very slow. If there's no traffic, then you can go faster.
And do we need to pay attention to the breath or do we ignore it entirely?
It's up to you. Some people find useful to join them together. Some people prefer just one thing, either the breath or the mantra.
Question from Urena, Spain. When I practice Anapanasati, I'm not able to recognize the sensation of the breath, and it is really hard to fix the mind in the breathing. How can I recognize the breathing more clearly and fix my mind on it?
If you cannot watch your breathing yet, maybe you should use a mantra instead. Recite a mantra such as Bhutto, 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 or Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. You can use this in place of watching the breath. Then you can stop your mind from thinking, and your mind can eventually become concentrated and become one, become peaceful and happy.